What up, free bosses? I'm Ian, and I want to ask you, would your 10-year-old self be impressed with the life that you're living today? In this video, we're going to dive deep, and I'm going to ask you some serious questions to figure out if you're tracking with how your 10-year-old self imagined your life would play out. So what did you imagine when you were 10 years old, how your life would be at the age that you're at right now? So I don't know how old you are, obviously. You could be 30, could be 25, could be 20, but for easy numbers, I'm just gonna imagine that you're 30 years old. So what did you imagine at 10 years old how your life would be when you're 30 years old? How is your body type? How did you imagine your body to be when you're 30 years old? How much money did you imagine that you'd be making right now? What was your relationship status? You know, how did you imagine, did you imagine that you'd be single, married, dating around? What kind of career were you gonna have when you're 30 years old? Did you have much freedom when you're 30 years old? Did you have the ability to just get up and go whenever you have a thought to just go somewhere? Or did you imagine that you would be chained to a desk job and you wouldn't be able to go anywhere at any time that you really wanted unless you gave your boss or your higher-ups the upfront notice? How much accomplishments did you think you would have under your belt at this age of 30 years old? And remember, this is when you're 10 years old, so a lot of things probably would change. You know, I remember when I was 10, I may have wanted to be a firefighter or something conservative like that. Now I'm shooting way higher than how high I was shooting when I was 10 years old. But I want you to really ask yourself these questions because I want you to look back and see how you're now tracking along with those previous goals. You know, are you happy with the body that you have today? Do you have a really fit, sleek, slender, athletic body, or could you probably lose a couple pounds? How is your income? Do you have a very high income, or do you think you could probably get it a little bit higher with a little bit of work? Are you happy with your relationship status? You know, are you happy being single? Are you happy being married? Sometimes when people are single, they're very content being single, and sometimes when people are married, they're very content being married. But then there's also the opposite, where you could be married and you're miserable every single day, or you could be single and you're miserable every single day. So it really all just comes down to happiness. Happiness is really the key with this video. I want you to figure out how you're tracking with how you planned it all out way back in the past, and do some self-reflection to see where could you improve, and then we want to talk about how we're going to go about improving those and getting the ball rolling with coming across these fixes and these improvements that you can start making. So what next? How do you get the ball rolling? How do you start fixing what you want to fix? Do you even have the drive to fix it? Like, if you really know that this is worth it and you know that this is definitely something that you want to change, do you really believe in yourself to see that you have the drive to actually make some massive changes in your life? Let's say that you want to lose 50 pounds. 50 pounds is a lot of weight to want to lose, but let's say you have to lose that. Do you have the drive? Do you have the self-discipline to actually put your stake in the ground and start making the changes today to be able to lose that 50 pounds? Then do you actually think that it's worth it? Do you know that it's worth it? Because once you realize that it is worth it to make this change, then change is going to be a lot easier because you're going to be driven by that why. How long of a timeline are you going to set to now trying to accomplish this new goal of losing 50 pounds or increasing your income by $50,000 annually? You know, what kind of timeline are you going to put on this? I would be very specific with your timeline. Put 6 months or a year and write down that exact date. So right now, today is July 17th, I believe. So write down July 17th, 2017, and then next to that put you want to lose 50 pounds by July 17th, 2018. Put a timeline on it, and then put your start date. So are you going to start right now at this very second, or are you going to start tomorrow, or are you going to start a week from now? So be very specific with the timeline of the deadline that you're going to allow yourself, when you're going to start, is it worth it? Figure out if you have the drive and really crack the whip on yourself, because this is going to take a lot of self-discipline to make this happen. So you really want to make sure that this sticks. When you put this stake in the ground and you're saying, I'm going to change this about myself, you're going to need some serious accountability. You're going to need to hold yourself accountable. You're going to need other people to hold you accountable. So what I would suggest is to tell everybody, make it extremely public, post on social media every single day saying, I am going to lose 50 pounds, or I am going to increase my income by $50,000 annually. Tell everybody that you know, because they will help keep you accountable. And that whole that publicity of people knowing your goals and them telling you, hey, you probably shouldn't eat that donut, you know, maybe lay off the beers a little bit because you're trying to lose 50 pounds, you know, that's going to help you and remind you, yeah, it's going to suck, and don't be scared to fall flat on your face and fail and maybe not be tracking so well with your goals and people see that. Don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of the fear of embarrassment and stuff like that, because this is going to help you. By telling everybody, this is actually going to help you accomplish what you're setting out to do. It's also going to tell the universe and the whole law of attraction stuff. It's going to tell everybody in the universe and everything and every energy that you want to accomplish this, so it's much more likely to happen when you put that stake in the ground and tell everybody about it. I would also recommend you join groups and clubs and social organizations of people that have already accomplished what you're setting out to do. So if you want to lose 50 pounds, join a very active group out there in your local town, or Facebook group, or social clubs and online groups, meetup.com, all that kind of stuff, of people that are actively trying to lose their weight themselves, as well as people in that group that have already lost the weight, and they can act as an encouragement, because you need this type of accountability, and this is going to help with that self-discipline. If you're in this Facebook group of people that have already lost 50 pounds and are trying to lose another 50, or somebody that's already lost 150 pounds or whatever, being in that group with them is going to help you and make sure that you achieve this goal of yours. So if it's career related or if it's income related, then I recommend joining our group, our Facebook group, freebosslifestyle.com. You can go there, that links right to our Facebook page, and you can join our Facebook group that way. And that's going to really, the stuff you're going to learn inside our Facebook group is going to really help you get your career in check, help you get your income in order. A lot of the people inside this group are free bosses. They're their own boss. They're free to work when and where they want to. They have high incomes, but then there's also the people in the group that are wanting to learn to become a free boss and going through the transition of learning the skills that they need to learn in order to become their own boss, start their own businesses, and then become a free boss to then be able to teach the other people going through this transition as well. Now, you need to remember to be patient. This kind of stuff does not happen overnight. It happens within 6 months to a year to 2 years to 3 years. It takes time. So if you're trying to accomplish something big, like making an extra $50,000 in a year or losing 50 to 100 pounds, those are big numbers to accomplish. So you got to be patient, and you have to at least commit for at least a year. Because if you commit for a month and then after a month you don't see any results, you're just going to be discouraged and you're just going to quit. And why would you even create a goal and go after something if you're just going to quit a little bit later? So commit for at least a year, then review the data, then review the results that you have, and let that be your kind of ruler of how well you're tracking along with your actual goals. Now, this is going to take a lot of self-discipline. You are really going to have to crack the whip on yourself. You're going to have to set those goals, hold yourself accountable, join those groups, because this is going to be hard, but during the process, you need to stay positive and you need to stay optimistic, because again, it takes time. And if you start to get negative on yourself, then chances are you'll start to spiral downward, you'll quit, and you'll just go back to where you are today, which is 50 pounds overweight and making less than $50,000 annually. These are just examples I'm just throwing out there, but really trying to help you out. Last most important point is that you need to distance yourself from those negative Nancys and those negative Nathans. Those people that are haters on you and are going to hate on your goals, and they're going to talk bad about how you're trying to accomplish and better yourself. You don't need those people in your life, so you need to cut them out and distance yourself from them. And if they are your closest people in your life, like your friends and family, like close people, then you need to be strong about either blocking out their negativity or distance yourself and just spend a little bit less time with them. Just kind of call them a little bit less or go to their house just a little bit less often, because it's going to take a lot of energy and passion and drive to make these big changes in your life. Now remember, a lot can happen fast within 6 months or a year. I mean, in the whole grand timeline of your life, 6 months to a year is a very small portion, so that is pretty fast. If you can make some big changes within 6 months to a year, even 2 years, that's pretty fast within your whole life to really change things and lose 50 pounds and and gain $50,000 in annual income. That is definitely going to help you. So think big picture, think your entire life and focus on the results. When you get those little bit of results, pay attention to them. Celebrate the small victories. Look at these small results, because that's what's going to keep you moving forward and give you that motivation to keep moving forward. Now, last point, I want to say, get to work. Figure out what is it that you want to change. What is it that was not on that list of questions that I asked you that you need to attack right now that would impress your little 10-year-old self? Because I guarantee you it is worth it. Whatever it is, if it's a relationship, if it's your weight, if it's your income, if it's your career, it will make you happier. You know it'll make you happier to obtain this goal. And what's life if you're not challenging yourself, right? If you're just kind of coasting and you're not being challenged, that's a boring life in my opinion. So I hope this video was able to inspire you, motivate you, bring you some value. Join our Facebook group, freebosslifestyle.com. Again, my name is Ian, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.